house alive. Gonna set the whole goddamn place on fire.
You ever like sit there smoking a joint, go to pull it away, and like the roach sticks to your lip, and then but you like knock off half the cherry and singe up your face, and it's on your lap, but it's all a million embers, not just a nice one. You gotta do that.
Usually during the winter time when my lips are really dry, it always happens.
It just happens.
But the other day, like I was, I don't know if I should say this, driving and smoking at the same time. And then like the wind came in the car and then it must have blew a cherry under my leg and I'm wearing shorts and my leg's burning and I'm trying to drive like, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah. One that I've had a couple times is a similar thing, smoking cigarettes and driving. And you go to like ash on the floor because there's oftentimes not an ashtray within reach or whatever, right? Or else I'll knock the cherry off on my floor and just let it burn out. But there'll be like a paper towel, like maybe we hit up fast food or something like that. And I wipe my face with the paper napkin, and I'll usually floorboard that like at my feet too. And sometimes it'll be dry, and all of a sudden, is that paper burning? And you look down, and you've got like full on embers go start to go off. You're like, pull over and deal with that. So Tuesday night, Toke, we're here with Julie for Living Euphoric. How are you doing tonight, Julie?
I'm doing amazing, you guys. Thank you so much for having me back on the show. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being willing to come back and hang out with us. It's always a blast every time we have you on. It was good. My favorite thing about having you on is you got like a wicked energy that is just awesome to be around. But we get to talk CBD, which is one of those things where everybody that tries it seems to like it. It seems to do something for them. A lot of people, though, are still kind of at that point where we would like to be able to grow a couple CBD plants ourselves, but we have grow spaces and restraints there, which kind of will F up that system. So some of us are a little bit more hesitant. And that is where Living Euphoric really comes in handy for a lot of our American friends, or could come in handy if they're unawares of you yet. Because then you don't have to worry about giving up your precious plant space or canopy space, whatever, to CBD plants, when we could just maybe go and, not knock on your door, but, shoot you a message, an email, or
hit me up on Instagram. Or you could always check out our website, livingeuphoric.com. I'm about to put up a huge sale from some old past harvests just to try to get some stuff out the door. But a lot of people have been making oils and salves lately, so they'll combine like my CBD flower with their THC flower to make like something really nice and perfect to help out with their pain or sleeplessness or anxiety or depression or PTSD, all sorts of stuff.
I really like that idea. And you really do get the full spectrum. We hear the word full spectrum thrown around frequently. I think it gets a little bit overused, not like criminally overused like some of the other terms we do, but like when you say, like when you talk about, say, taking like a CBD dominant strain and your THC dominant, and you combine those, that's a lot broader spectrum than just to have one or the other.
Like isolating it, yeah. When some people make CBD oil, they're basically isolating the CBD only. Instead of including all of the cannabinoids and all the terpenes and just like the whole plant as is. Yeah,
I fully believe in getting as much of that as possible in there. Right now we're making a batch of we're about to make olive oil, infused olive oil, and I'm in the part, like, this is where I hate being Canadian, because I wish I could just get a hold of you and say, hey, like, send me a couple packages of your CBD stuff, because I actually gotta go and get like CBD isolate if I'm gonna add that to any of my tinctures or stuff like that. Flower is hard to come by. Now I've got my own CBD strain I could use and grow, but like I said, I basically grow in a 4x4 tent, and I gotta.
Do you have hemp laws out there?
Yeah, I think all that stuff just kind of gets lumped in with cannabis is cannabis.
Okay.
We don't have. If you want to be medical, which I am, you can go get your grow license, and then you can grow as many plants as your license will allow you.
Oh, okay.
that's how our medical system works there.
Yeah,
But, you
ours
know, like
too.
you go to any dispensary just about and get CBD isolate, or you go to an online dispensary, which is where you're more likely going to get more for your money. And that's how we have to do that. I'd much rather be able to put bucks in your pocket because you're a good friend of the show, and you know you always want to help out those that the people that you like, the people around you. But you know, it would be great. But like I said, countries, borders, no go.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It
What
is.
about you, Fluff? Are you mixing up something right now?
I was waiting for a little extra CBG to land at my door, and then we were going to be whipping up some tincture here soon, actually, because I do have 2 of the halves, I believe that quarters. I got 2 of the quarters left of the stuff that I won from your giveaway,
Oh, nice.
and so I was going to mix it with a little bit of the I have untested something that's supposed to be a little bit higher CBD. I can tell, you know, smoking wise, you can tell it's a little higher CBD. So I was just going to buffer the rest of it with that, and then but mostly just the hemp that I got from you. Is going into that next run. Yeah, we use that for nightly medication around here. So.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah, it's great stuff, man. I love the hemp. I haven't been smoking it as much as I used to. I used to be a lot better about it. And I just in finding different strains and things, I've just gotten away from it. So I don't know if I just need to pick it up a little more. You know, I'm a big fan and proponent, but I feel like it usually ends up being mostly as an edible or topical in my household nowadays.
That's how I usually use it too. I like smoking it sometimes, like if I got to go to work in the morning, but I'm typically making oil out of it and then using the oil to make other stuff. So you use which kind of oil do you use? Coconut oil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've gone basically with just a real quality MCT, trying to get it as flavorless, as tasteless as possible, just as mute as absolute possible. I did a small run where I tried to use some hemp seed oil, but that stuff was just it's just too much. I couldn't do it. They don't filter out none of the goodness out of them. It's got all the flavors. Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh yeah, I really like the MCT coconut oil if I'm keeping it like in a liquid form, and it hardly has any flavor at all. It's really great stuff. This stuff that I got, but if I wanted to make something to go solid like a salve or something like that, or if I wanted to make brownies, then I would go with just the regular virgin coconut oil.
Yeah.
It's really perfect for brownies. I don't know why. Maybe something about like the thickness of it makes your brownies kind of have a bit more of a fudgy taste.
Which ain't nothing wrong
I
with
don't
that.
know. Yeah, no, really good. My favorite.
I'm about the fudgy brownie life.
I really like the MCT oil for the like your rollerball salves that the Fluff gave us the recipe for. Like that is badass right there. But it's, you know, we use the word game changer for different ways to apply or imbibe with our cannabis. And like we're hearing about, like I've been hearing you guys talk about rollerballs for years, going back to like the Skilbo days, back with the Michigan Grow Show. And I'm envisioning, like, you know, like those, like, what is the Lady's Secret rollerball armpit sticks, like these giant things. And I'm thinking, like, wow, what's that going to cost when you know, thinking like how much a little bit of cannabis will cost, right? I'm like,
a little pin, a rollerball pin, like.
Yeah, they're like 10 mil little jars. And I was like, once I saw what he was talking about, I was like, okay, now I get it. Because between that and the essential oils that you're applying on there, you do get the pain therapy and stuff like that, but you also get the aromatherapy aspect to it too. Because like a lot of this stuff just smells delicious, right? Like basil, the predominant smell coming through on this thing, and you're like, I just, I've been using it on my wrist a lot lately. Something going on here. Like, you just like want to zombify your arm and just start mowing on that thing. So,
It smells so good, must eat.
it does. Yeah, love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's for me. Like the worst would be any kind of cannabis flavored mix with chocolate, because I just love the combination of the two. And I'm already bad with chocolate as it is. So like combine that flavor with cannabis flavor into it. It's like, I would eat way too much, and I know like I'm about to pass out, but it's so good.
Yeah, my mission is because I can make a fool of myself eating chocolate candies, whatever you name it, man. You put it in front of me and it will disappear, just like some David Copperfield type stuff. And but like I want to. But at the same time, I'll get through those points where like I've eaten too much sugar. Like you could feel it in your bloodstream where your body's just telling you no more sugar, but you want to get the edibles down. So that's where I want to get more into like the olive oils and maybe the canna butters and stuff like that. So you can get into more of the savory aspects of food. Like grilling vegetables on the barbecue seems to be one of those things that really we go nuts with in the summertime around here. And it's like everything you're grilling, you're putting olive oil on. So why not infuse that olive oil and get that? Once again, hit it with the CBDs and stuff like that and the THCs. And you can.
Some people are using it as like even just a dry herb, just like sprinkling it. What's up, Skunk Ape? Sprinkling it as like a dry herb on top of their food, like with their veggies or their meats or whatever. And that sounds weird, but I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we sprinkle all sorts of other dry herbs on our foods.
That's one that I've yet to get into. I've thought of it a few times because I have heard of people like even really they'll use other stuff with the cannabis flakes too, but like basically their own versions of shake and bake on chicken and stuff like that. And I'm like, I love me some shake and bake, but it seems like, okay, we're like, but at the same time, I don't know. It's interesting.
Hey, I agree, but I like the gummy stuff myself. I'm down for like the actual like candies. That and my weed, I fucking love together. Oddly enough, I mean, I don't mind. I'm not gonna turn down me a chocolate bar, but I prefer it in more of like a candy when it comes down time.
Have you ever made your own gummies?
Oh God, yeah. Every week, yes.
Every week, I keep running out of my secret stash. I gotta make a new stash.
That's usually a Sunday night thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably one day every week. You're like, running low. It's Sunday night. I better re-up on my gummies. The one I used that I felt was the easiest, like that Levo oil maker that everybody's using to infuse. Levo sells gummy mix, so you can make your own oil. You don't have to use their machine to make it if you don't want to, but you can make your own oil. Get the mix. You mix it up with like a little bit of water, I think, and the oil and something else. It's just like this whole little process, but it doesn't even take that long, probably about 10 minutes. And then you pour it in your molds immediately, and that's it. And they taste amazing.
Yeah, they're good too, huh?
Yeah. I think it's about
I have the Levo. I got super stoked when they finally made the real big pod. I don't know. Do you use the Levo?
No.
Yeah, you should try one. And they now make a big pod.
It looks super easy. Like just like making coffee or something like that. You pour your oil in one department, and then you put your cannabis in a filter in another department, and then you close the lid and press the on button.
Yeah, it's sort of it's got a big filter in it, and you put it all together, and it does all the work after you push the button. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I should probably
does
do
a great job, man. That's what I've been using for, I think, the better part of 4 years at this point.
Wow, really? It lasts a long time, or did you have to replace your machine?
It's got a few little hiccups on it, or it had. I think they've fixed those over the past like 2 years or so. But it's ever since I figured out what the little bullshit problem was, I've never had a problem with it since.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah, I love mine. Absolutely love mine. Like it's as soon as it dies, it will get replaced with another one. That's a product I like. So
nice.
Yeah.
I found their gummy pouches on Amazon for like $20. I think I've tried like the cherry one and the strawberry and banana one, and they pack they're very powerful in flavor. So those things are super awesome. Very easy to make your gummies.
Oh, I like a stupid strong tasting gummy.
Yeah, yeah. I've tried
all lock up like kind of gum like
yeah. And if you do it wrong, then they're really chewy. And so you need more flavors so that we can keep chewing down on it. But the first time I've tried making gummies with some homemade recipe, like it hardly had any flavor. Like it didn't have much flavor because you gotta get some flavoring extract and add it in, like some super potent flavoring extract.
Yeah, I was just actually talking with my wife not too long ago about when we go to try a new type of gummy that we're gonna see if we can't flavor it with straight fucking Kool-Aid, because Kool-Aid's usually some ass behind that, and I mean it seems like it should work just fine. So that's what we're gonna try next, and I love like Kool-Aid fruit punch is like my jam.
Yeah.
You get that in a gummy, I fucking won't stop eating.
That could be addictive. That's like one of those ones where I'm going to bed.
That's why he has to be up his batch every Sunday.
Yeah, I like that.
Make it too much.
The first way I started making gummies was like just like go and buy like a container of like Coke bottles, and I melted those down and added some like RSO basically.
Oh,
mix that in there, and then and that'll work in the pinch if you don't have any of your fancy packets and stuff like that.
Yeah, because a gummy's easy. It just melts down and then turns into a gummy again.
Yeah. You throw that one of those silicone molds or whatever like that, and just pop it out, cut it into squares or whatever your desired shape size is, and rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty easy to make once you get the hang of it. So you haven't tried the Kool-Aid recipe yet?
Nope, not yet. Not yet. That's it's on the short list. We've been getting ready for our annual get together here lately, and when I had the idea, so we didn't want to throw too many dumb ideas in, and because that's what'll happen is I'll be like, "Oh, we need to do that. We need to do that. We need to do that," and then
then you bring too much, or you pack too much, or you do too much, and you don't have time for the important things. Yeah, I'm the same way.
But I feel like Booth Fest would be the perfect place to run that testing on people.
Experiment.
Hey, you could be like, listen, we got a whole lot of guinea pigs around here.
Yeah, you do.
I've already been told to bring less infused desserts with me this year, though.
Oh yeah, because everyone's passing around like the cookies and the brownies and the chocolates, and then people got a sweet tooth, and then they get too high, and they're like, "Yeah, can we still have all those things, but no weed in them?"
Right.
Then that's where you make some CBD ones. Yay.
See, there we go.
I just figured I would up the ante, and instead we'd bring some, instead of having like cannabis infused, we'd bring some mushroom infused stuff.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? Last time I was over at the Dude Grows Cup in June, I was volunteering as a bud tender, and a lot of people would come up because it's Colorado. Everybody has mushrooms. So a lot of people would come up and offer me mushrooms. So at first I take a little bit, but I really don't do too much. So it's not like I wanted to take. I'm like, no, give it to somebody else who really wants it, Then I went to my friend's table, and it seemed like everybody was offering me something, and this guy's trying to hand me something, and I really didn't see what it was, but it was like small and it looked white, and I was like, no, I'm good. I said, everyone's been offering me a whole lot of mushrooms all day today. Like, my pockets are already pretty full. And he goes, this isn't a mushroom. This is a freeze-dried banana. And I was like, oh, it looked like a mushroom. Everyone keeps it. I said, how funny would that be if I ate it? I'm like, man, this mushroom tastes a lot like banana. That's weird.
Man, that is one fucked up tasting mushroom. What did you do to that thing?
They do. They walk around with your plastic bags and just like, here, have some. And you're like, I've had so much, trust me. I got like pockets full. I think I'm good.
Sounds like a good time.
Is that what you guys are going to do at your Booth Cup this year?
I don't know.
Is it a cup?
What's that?
Is it a cup?
Well, we're having our own little something there. Yeah. personal competition between us all. But yeah, it's more just a best in show type thing for anybody who wants
Yeah.
to play.
Or,
Yeah,
or the bragging rights.
yeah. That's exactly it. There's a little bit of yearly bragging rights that gets to go along with it, and a treasure trove of junk that you get to take home if you win it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. If you're the winner, take all this stuff. You probably already have it, but here you go.
Dude, I want to get like a wrestling title belt for next year. I've seen
That's a good one.
once in a while on Instagram, one of those things will pop up where you can get your own trophy belts I made up. Like that's what I want to see. Like Thunder Dan coming into booth camp next year, like dragging his big championship strap because her lobster, whoever, it would be awesome.
What's up, lobster?
Like it would just add so much more to the ridiculousness that I would envision it to be.
That'd be badass.
I think so.
Yeah, it would be cool. Hey, tell me real quick about the you went to go see Pantera?
Yep.
Did you think that, like, how cool is that, seeing them backstage? Or
that was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. They started off so Pantera was the reason we went to Edmonton for that. I never got to see the real thing, but growing up where I grew up, Pantera was not just a band; they were like a way of life. And to see Cowboys from Hell played live, that is absolute bucket list shit. And I'm a huge Zakk Wylde fan, so to see him do it in anyone else's shoes, if it can be done, that it's it was okay. It was great. And there we managed to get to the front rail. Me and my daughter, who's about 4.5 feet tall, just barely see over the rail, kind of thing. And they walk right by us, which I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You're getting all excited and stuff. But then, like, when Metallica comes out, and we're just happen to be sitting right in front of James Hetfield's Guitar Tech's booth. We can't see the stage because the booth is actually in the way. It's a clear hut that's about 8 feet long and a foot and a half taller than the stage. So we can't actually see anything that isn't right in front of us pretty well. But with James Hetfield, before he gets on stage, that's where he's hanging out. If you've seen videos of hanging out smoking cigars between, that's where he was. That's where we were. And so like, okay, this is cool. They changed the drum location 4 times throughout the set, right? And when they do the first drum change, he comes back to his area and he's high-fiving fans and stuff. And I say to my kid, and I'm just like, when he comes back, give him the horns. And she does. Yeah. He stops, takes off his wristband, puts it over her horns because she still has them up, and gives her the wristband. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is like I'm mind blown. Like I'm racing for something to say because this is the coolest thing I've ever witnessed, I'm pretty sure, at this point. And I'm just like, thank you, James. And he just kind of like cups my cheek and walks away. And then I'm really like, well, now what the fuck just happened? Did he demasculate me? Did he just like give me like a huge, basically fucking dapper? Like I don't know. He touched me. I know that. And then it wasn't very long later, I looked down and I noticed she didn't have the wristband anymore. I'm like, oh, where is it? And they're like, she obviously didn't lose it. So it's in my pocket. I'm like, okay, I'm wearing cargo pants. We'll put that in that because it's a good safety pocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
She took it off. The thing's just drenched with sweat and soaking wet, and it's actually even kind of heavy. So you put that on a 10-year-old girl's arm, right?
Oh, no. Gross.
But it was
awesome.
great.
Yeah, you got good footage. I thought that was really cool.
It was so cool. Everybody needs a kid to go to concerts with. You get that young kid up front. A lot of people have reservations. Oh, they might get hurt and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a calculated risk. It is. I'm not just going to say that it's going to be perfectly foolproof. But if most people that are in your vicinity, if you can get them up front, they are very cool. And will not try to push it in there on your kid. And they're, and then when the band sees that.
Very mindful, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Operation. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking, Jay. We'll take the DNA from that thing. We're going to clone James Hetfield, and, we'll have like Metallica Part 2 and get that Metallica money on there or something like that.
Yeah. Make many clones and sell them all.
Hell yes, we'll get rich.
I saw Metallica when they came out to Denver a long time ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But that was freaking badass. Speaking of edibles, I was doing a shitload of like brownies that day because I had brought a whole bag to share with all my friends before the show, and only a few people actually wanted some. So I was trying to give them out, but nobody wanted any. And so like I ended up having some more myself to the point that I'm like, okay, I definitely can't have any more than this. So I just left the bag somewhere, hoping somebody else might find it and use it, and went inside. Well, it started kicking in. Like, actually, who were we watching with them? Was it Volbeat? No. No. Was it Avenged Sevenfold? Fuck, it was so long ago. I fucking forget who the first band was. Yeah, I think that they were playing with Avenged Sevenfold. And that stuff started kicking in. I started getting really paranoid about dying and everybody dying and how I'm going to be dying soon. And then there was this crazy thunderstorm coming in, and we all had to like get out of our seats because it was out in the open field. So we all had to get out of our seats and go find some shelter until the storm passed. And I kept freaking out, thinking, I'm gonna die tonight. I know I am. Like, but it didn't happen. And that was just the height of it. And my height kind of cooled down after that. The
Yep.
show was amazing after that. He went on much later because of the thunderstorm. He didn't let that shorten his time on stage. So it was really cool that he finished doing their entire set. But
Their
that was such
band
an amazing show. Yeah.
they put on such a good presentation. Like it
Yeah.
was cool. And so we were at the rail the first night. The second night we were up in the stands because Pantera is what I needed to be there for. And the price cost of seats. I'm actually really happy we were up in the stands the second night because you can actually see what's going on. And like I said, my daughter, if she's not at the front rail, she can't see what's going on at any concert really, unless you're up in the stands. And as soon as we sat down, she's like, "Oh, this is way better."
Oh yeah.
And then you could see the full presentation because I have 8 of these huge stadium screens up all over the place. So when you get songs like one where they kind of like tap into that war feel and they're like they got the pre-video going on and so you hear the helicopters, strobes and flares and shit going off, and you're just like, wow. Because when you're down there, you're looking up and you might be kind of looking at one of these towers, right? You miss the drawback of the whole presentation. You're like, this is badass.
That's cool. Yeah, that's super awesome. Yeah. This year I only went to go see Slightly Stoopid, and they were playing with Fortunate Youth and Common Kings over at the Red Rock. So that was really awesome. I go see them every year that they come out. So I was super excited to go see them. That was pretty badass. I was with my friend and she got us seats that were like way up close, like second row, but off to the side. But we had such a great time. The people that were next to us were super awesome. So it was nice meeting them. You know what I mean? Like, when you go to these concerts, like, and you make friends with everyone near you, everyone's like really cool and having a good time. So people are very friendly.
It's at the point where
vibe too. Like,
yeah, it is.
It's a whole thing in itself there. That's like a definite like bucket list to see somebody amazing at Red Rocks specifically,
Yeah, definitely. It's such an amazing, beautiful concert venue. You got to come ready to hike. Like, even if you got a car ride, drop you off all the way at the top, you would still go downstairs. It's all like stairs. So you're going up and down stairs. Most people that come out to Colorado aren't used to the elevation. So, and then they drink and they party and they're smoking and they're probably doing some mushrooms and then they kind of like fall or trip or something. It gets kind of crazy after the concert.
It's a long way down too.
Yeah, it's a long way down.
Yeah, I feel like
it's going to be a long way down.
Definitely one of the top bucket list venues that I would like to get to at some point in time. You
should. It's amazing.
It's one of the things is if like now that we've been to a whole bunch of shows and you realize that some venues are fucking amazing, some for different reasons, some's acoustic, some's just the feel or the space or whatever. Some venues are terrible. And it's interesting but then you just see other stuff like something like imagine seeing something at the Sydney Opera House. Like that's just such a cool building that like it'd be cool to go check something there. Red Rocks Amphitheater, that's another one. Budweiser stage in Toronto. it's gonna be my old geezer bucket list that I'm gonna do. Is I'll travel the world.
Yeah, mine too. I so want to get an RV and that's why I'm trying at my job to get a work from home position. So that way eventually I could just get the Starlink on my RV and just travel all over the country. Probably travel up north during the summertime and down south during the wintertime and just to see everything that there's to see and do.
Yeah.
That'd be super awesome. Would have to make a point to go to all the best concert venues all over the country.
Right.
Well, plan your trip out kind of they take the year in advance and just kind of because then festivals and concerts and stuff will be announced and be like, okay, here's the one that I want to see really bad is Billy Strings. Now I see our friends in live chatters that are here right now posting up footage of him, and he looks awesome. I don't know if he's got a record or what, so he can't come north or whatever, but I don't ever see mention of him coming up this way.
Oh.
And so that means I've got to go down there to see him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
He just looks like
your neighbors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I also got to be down there for next year's Booth Fest. I think that is my aim that's my year trip.
Next year's Booth Fest. Hopefully you'll happen to run into Billy Strings. Hopefully you'll have your wrestling trophy for whoever the winner is of the Booth Fest.
Oh, I will. That's how I'll make my entrance. I'll come through all ridiculous, some miniature scrawny ass Stone Cold with a mullet.
Right. Yeah.
Slamming dispensary CBG drinks or something like that. It's
throwing them down.
I mean, why you got to go with the Stone Cold thing? You already look like a midget Jake the Snake. So why don't you just say you're bringing the Jake the Snake retro version back and call it a day, man?
I can do that too. We go with Jake. There's no shame in him.
We'll get you like a garter snake to fucking put around your neck. That way it doesn't weigh you down too much.
Yeah, you just watch me run away screaming like a girl. Just.
Are you serious?
It could happen.
Scared of snakes?
If they're all of a sudden right there, they'll startle me. And
they're pretty intimidating. Yeah.
Will.
I don't get scared when I see one, but I'm definitely very cautious. I don't usually get too close. If I held one, it wouldn't bother me that much.
See, I don't mind slow ones like pythons and stuff like that. They don't move all that quick. But I remember holding a buddy's corn snake, and they put that thing in my hand. And all of a sudden, it was up my shoulder and going around my neck. I'm get it off.
Who knows where he's gonna go next?
It was just too much.
Yeah.
Whereas ball pythons, that's all they do is just sit there in a bundle. It's a pretty boring pet, actually.
Me and snakes have the relationship is we look at each other, and if he's gonna fucking check me, then I'm gonna end his life. And if he's gonna go on his merry little way or just kind of look at me and be like, "Yeah, we cool," then we cool.
Yeah.
Don't try to play Apex Predator
in his eyes. Don't hurt
fucking
me.
Bigger than you, and I have sharp tools.
One time, ew, gross. One time, I was living out in North Carolina. I had really tall grass because I didn't have a lawnmower. So I used to pay somebody who would come knock on my door to mow my lawn. And they came to mow the back lawn, and they were pointing out to me a snake, and I didn't know what to do because I was younger at the time. So I just said, I don't know, run it over at the lawnmower. So he just put the lawnmower, he pushed it over the snake. It just chopped the snake up, kept going forward, and then the snake is just sitting there, all its little pieces twitching. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. That was super gross. I mean, now as a grown-up, when I see snakes all over my garden, they go away. They're more scared of me than I am of them. It's just a little, when I see them at first, it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, oh, it's just a garden snake and he's leaving, so I'm good. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, if I see you from a little bit of a distance, I'm good. But it's when you're walking through the bush and all of a sudden you go to put your foot down and there's one right there. Those are the ones where they'll get me going. We don't have anything dangerous in my area. You go a couple hours south and you can find some rattlers and stuff like that. Never heard of anyone dying from a bite down there. But it's all garters and stuff up here, but they'll still get me. Which is, I can imagine being in Australia. like where we got Cake and a Cop and Jeff Papaya and all those fellas, where it's like, you know, they got like what 12 of the world's deadliest snakes that are fairly common down there. That'd be.
I definitely wouldn't want to go down there with their big ass spiders. Fuck that.
Oh, they like spiders that eat these snakes too. I've seen videos where it's
What?
terrifying.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. Just
Spider
no
eating
on
a
so many
snake?
fucking levels. Just no.
No.
Yeah.
Every
That's where
fucking level, no.
that's why I live where it's cold, because we don't have, yeah, sure, we got bears and stuff like that, but they're not, you at least know they're there typically, or they're in the area, right? Whereas a snake or something like that, now spiders, nope. That's just nope.
My buddy in Arizona used to fucking joke around about how, you know, at night, and I don't even know actually if he was joking 100%, but he used to talk about how he used to have to bring out the old, you know, UV light to check for scorpions. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, how is that a fucking thing? Like, no, I don't want to
They
live
are-
anywhere
they're
I'm going to fucking have a
backflows.
special light. Fuck that.
They grab scorpions, put it in like a jar or something, wait to find another one, and then put the both of them together and watch them fight.
No.
I wouldn't touch one. They're kind of freaky to me, but like I've had friends who had pet scorpions and they would turn on the black light and then their backs would just glow. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I ain't down for the scorpions. I have friends with scorpions too. They say they're actually like not really that mean of a fucking thing when they're kind of like
They just
docile
look
and
very
shit.
crazy.
Man, fuck that. They look like little battle tanks that want to kill you.
Yeah.
They're,
They're like,
they're little
on the
mini
inside, I'm
insect
quite
battle
friendly.
tanks, man.
Oh man, just want to get high with you. No,
I remember
seeing it up close.
a few years ago we were working in I can't remember where it was, but where we were outside, we were in an Airbnb working, and this there's like a bamboo wood chime that was standing hanging in the smoking area. And one day we noticed a great big, I can't remember if it was a popcorn or a wolf spider, but some big thing, right? And we started blowing our hoots at it and started noticing this thing getting all left up, and it was kind of funny, right? And then the next day it was like kind of it would get to the point where you'd watch it try and climb up its string, get back up and hide inside the bamboo, and it would like fall down, stuff like that. It was cool. And then like the third day it was gone. It had enough, because it was like, God, it would climb up there. We'd hold the cherry under there, let the smoke drift up there, because we're fucking with this guy, this ugly, nasty spider at this point in time, right? Like it was, you got Cake in a Cup. That's tiny spider, but for up here in my area, that's a big fucking spider. Okay,
pretty big.
like, once again,
The body or the body with the legs?
mostly body.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Like something that you're worried that if you tried to like step on it, you either wouldn't do it right away, or two, would literally like slip on the fucking shit you would squirt everywhere.
Dude,
Yeah.
you want to hear something disgusting that literally for real happened to me the other day? I was sitting, it's the grossest thing ever, and I'm very sensitive in my feet, so I'm just like, I could not stop like wanting to throw up about it for 3 days. I'm just sitting in the car, we get home, I get out of the car, the moment I step my foot outside, I feel like something wet, and I'm thinking, ew, did I step in something gross, like some animal's poop or something? How the hell did I step on my shoe I've been wearing all day and it's wet on the inside of my shoe? That's gross. I go inside the house, like where the lights are at, and I open up like my sandal, I peel it back and look there's a flat dead spider in the middle between my foot and the sandal. And it was so disgusting. I could still feel it right now. It's squished guts all over the bottom of my feet. I was like, I had to go to the bathroom and scrub the crap out of it. But like anytime I close my eyes and that thought comes up, I could still feel it at the bottom of my feet. It's the grossest thing ever. Fucking disgusting. And I hate spiders. Most people don't mind spiders. They could care less if that happened. But me, I'm just like,
I'm at the point of all
about, like my feet buried in guts.
Dude, yeah.
There's a few months ago.
Boil it off.
Few months ago, we're driving down the street, and I feel something that's kind of like itching underneath, like where my seatbelt strap is.
Oh.
And I go to scratch it, and it freaking pops. It's a
Ew.
big nasty spider that must have been in my clothes. We were at my parents' place, right? And they have come to realize since they have a spider problem in their basement. And I'm just like, so I get the massive, just like, like there's a gas station that we were pulling into, anyways. That's like right there. You get out and spend the rest of the day kind of doing what you're talking about, just like
burning the hell
completely
out.
willied out. And then you're just, ugh. And then there's a fast forward to, like, this was just about like a month ago, not even maybe, where I'm working and staying up at my parents' place. And I wake up way too early in the morning, kind of laying there, and I've got my phone is like laying on the mattress like that as I'm watching it. And then in the light of the phone, I see this big nasty spider walk in front of the screen.
Oh.
I just like slam that down, like I'm up. It's like 2 a.m. or something like that. I'm just like, holy fuck, like that's too much. And then it was later that week or the next week, I'm laying in the same bed, but I've got my old ladies up there with me this time. And I feel something on my arm, sure enough, go like that. And it's another big ass fucking spider. I'm like, I can't sleep there anymore. I'm like, is sorry, mom and dad. I love you, but
mattress in the family room. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go sleep in the car. Right? Like,
that's gross.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, let's do it, Dad.
Let's do it, Dad. Fluff, do you have any gross spider stories? You have to have something gross to share.
Man, well, I mean, yeah, I got a few. Like there was a point when we were on a job that I had to get shut down because there was literally like a 20-foot by 20-foot wall of brown spiders. Like to the point where, like, you know, they were so tightly packed on the wall. You know, when you see those things of like the baby spiders and you hit the one and like they just fucking go like this, and it's just like, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize that was a big old thing of spiders. That's what the whole wall was, but they were like deadly fucking brown recluses. So
no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
you made it out alive.
So can you just like blow up in a acetylene tank right there and just be done with it?
That's what I wanted to do, but they weren't really down for that in where we were working.
Gross.
So I don't know what the fucking they did, but we went back 3 days later and it wasn't an issue anymore. So
probably called like a fumigator or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That'd be nasty.
Yeah, that's too deadly to mess with.
Fuck. Oh yeah, actually, and I may have actually my wife just reminded me. I actually had a buddy who almost lit his garage on fire because of a wolf spider.
Well, it might be worth it.
Well, what was happening was he was chasing down a fucking wolf spider with brake cleaner, and he had that motherfucker just a roaring flame of a spider, and that spider ran into his wall. And so he was trying to fucking rip the wall with this fucking wet ass, you know, brake cleaner soaked flaming spider out of the wall.
Disgusting.
Ew. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a good one.
I wonder if they're like that big, if you could hear them screaming when you're burning them.
Right?
Gross.
Oh, dude, yeah, I did that once too. Like, I was trying to spray one dead in my fucking shed, and like, this motherfucker had mass. Like, when I sprayed it the first time, it got all mad and it fell off the shelf that I sprayed it off of because it like flipped out and jumped. And when it like landed on the fucking deck below, it made a thump. And I was like, ew. And then it like got up, shook itself off, and ran away with all like the spider. I had to spray. I had to like drench that motherfucker. I think I had to drown him, honestly. So that was a resilient, big, bad motherfucker who's probably coming for me in the afterlife, and I deserve it. But
yeah, for sure.
Well, you got him in the first time.
Yeah.
You went around one.
You won the battle.
Yeah, I can't do creepy, gross shit like that. That's just
disgusting.
Icky.
So with all that being said, how's IPM on that big old fucking garden you got right back there? Is this all 100% the medical, or I mean not the medical, but the hemp
CBD.
garden?
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful.
Over here, this is Blue Meringue, and the back row is Pink Panther, and everything on the right side is Legendary Platinum OG. And all these 3 strains I tried growing before, but I failed at the testing. because they actually finish way quicker than anything else.
So you were pulling them too late, and they were testing high with the THC.
I was testing them too late.
Yeah.
And yeah, just by a smidge. So I wanted to do it again because they're fantastic strains with like really great terpene profiles. They smell amazing. They look amazing. They're short, and they have like just a short summer life. So, I had the testers come out early.
How many days it typically take to flower one of these out now, or what
Indoors,
are you pulling?
I wouldn't know, but like most people would call things like a 7-week strain, a 8-week strain, a 10-week strain. These are more typically like a 7-week strain to me because they're done way earlier than the majority of plants.
So yeah, you're probably looking at trying to be like a 55 day plant to make sure you're hitting your CBD ratios properly. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
I already had the tester come out and got my test results back. So everything in the garden passed this year, which I'm super excited about because that hasn't happened before. Like I always have something fail. So every year, like I'm learning more and more about how to do this. And so this one, I'm really excited. I'd really love to be able to make a greenhouse back here. That's just like my biggest dream. I feel like they would be off to a better start if I could put them out here earlier in the season instead of waiting until like June 1st because of our winters and stuff. So that's just like a huge dream of mine to be able to do that. But these are probably going to be ready in around maybe like the end of October. So they'll be up on the website and available. Like I said earlier, the stuff from previous harvests, I'm going to do a good deal on those, try to get rid of some. I'll probably post something on my Instagram. But anybody who subscribes to our newsletters will be getting a newsletter about it. Thank you, Lobster Bush.
There you go. I didn't know if you got to see it. You did, right? Yeah. Definitely love to see all the success that you're bringing, that you're working towards. You know, it's paying, all the hard work's paying off. You know, it shows. You know,
it's a one-woman show. So I've had to like learn how to do a lot of stuff about business that I never knew how to do, and still some things I'm not that good at. But you know, this, like, I wish I could just hire somebody else to do that kind of stuff for me, and that I could just focus on this only. But
long-term goals.
Exactly. Yeah. You know? If you want to do your own thing, it's just not as simple as saying, "Oh, I'm really good at this skill." You got to have like. You either got to be good at several skills or get yourself a team of people, you know, that you guys could help each other out, and everybody has their unique skills that they bring to the table.
And put the right people in the right places.
Mm-hmm. I love having people like you and Rasufa who like will take my product and make salves and oils and like give those out. Like that's amazing. That's the greatest way to see this stuff go around.
I love it. I've been telling you know, I think I was telling the guys this morning, you know, I constantly tell people, you know, when I'm seeing somebody or somebody's asking for suggestions on a quality, you know, smokable CBD, you know, specifically, that's always what it's hard to find, right? Is quality smokable CBD. You know, it's hard. I have no qualms about sending them right over to you. So I'm hoping that a few people have actually, you know, made their way over after I've sent them. But yeah, I've definitely some of the stuff that I won off of you. You know, I broke it up and I let some other patients of mine try it, and you know, I know they were looking towards it. So yeah, I definitely try to get you out there as much as I can too, because I completely appreciate and believe in everything you're doing out there. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. The passion and the hard work shows.
Yeah, it is a lot, but blood, sweat, and tears. But it gets easier and easier every year. You know, it's just a lot of learning along the way. Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait until we get you back. Maybe not next year, might take a few years potentially, but well, you're doing the show from inside your greenhouse and be like, hey, remember when we were talking about that? You know, like it'll happen and manifest it. Like I said, it's one of those hard work and you know, you got to put the elbow grease in and get it done. But if that's the dream, go for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you were to even look back at from the first time we had you on to where you are now, you know where you have gotten.
yeah.
It's miles above
Crazy.
where you were. Yeah.
Well, the very
Yeah.
first show I was ever on was when Chad Westport started having his shows on Future Cannabis Project. He
Yeah.
started doing like a every other Saturday show or something like that, and I was like one of his first guests on 420, and that was like downstairs in the basement. So like from that show to now, it's like I wouldn't believe that I would be doing this. You know, I would think about it and want it, but not actually think that it was something that could actually happen. It can, but not without a lot of sacrifice.
Right. That's
But
a
yeah,
lot of
hard
work
work will
back
pay
there.
off.
If it comes too easy, it probably ain't worth shit, though. That's the other thing
You
is
don't appreciate it so much.
absolutely. I think that's why we got so many friggin' disrespectful, spoiled kids out there. Is they just kind of have so much given to them. They don't appreciate hard times because they've never seen it. It's just everything's always been just
Handed to them, yeah.
yeah, and it's you know it doesn't do them any good in the long run. It's it just feels so good when you've worked for something, you know, you put in the years or the months, whatever it is. Maybe it's just something you've been working on that week, maybe a riff you're trying to learn and it only took you a couple hours on the guitar or whatever. But when you get there and you get that aha moment and it's just like,
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun too.
So what's out of all of these that you got back there, which one's your favorite, or which one is so far is kind of like the one that you're really looking towards being the one this round?
Yeah, because like there's this cup that I want to submit. Oh, good. Okay. It was not a spider. Don't worry. There's this.
She wasn't joking, folks.
No. There's like a Denver Cup coming up in October, and they have a CBD category, and I'm thinking about entering for the CBD category. So I got to pick one of these, like which one of these is going to be the best. And I really don't know because they all look really great and they all have different flavor profiles. Sometimes what they smell like right now is going to totally change by the time they're like dried, cured, bucked in the jar for a month. I like a nice long month jar curing. That's why I'm saying hopefully it'll be ready in time. I'll have to tell then because I want to enter one of these into the cup for that CBD category.
So which one's standing out to you right now?
Pink Panther has always been my favorite. That's the
Yeah.
one I grew a long time ago, and it failed on testing. So I was super bummed because my very first round of outdoor season, that was the one that failed testing while the rest of them passed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, fuck
Cheers,
that
Dave.
spider. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm very see that's what kind of started it all in the first place. Actually, a long time ago, I read that article about that girl and the whole Charlotte's Web thing and how CBD was helping these children with epilepsy and cancer and other diseases that they might be dying from anyway. So the parents could care less if they were giving their kids cannabis because they're like, look, my kid's going to have the best end of their life. But I had the article that I had taped up on my wall at work, and every day I was looking at that article. So it first started with Luna Gardens is like my nonprofit organization where I like to help educate people about cannabis medicine and how it helps heal them, and they could look up their ailments and see, you know, what maybe the best method of cannabis to take is, whether you have a type of ailment that might need more THC or one that might need more CBD, or even specifically which terpenes you might be needing the most. And so it started there, and then a lot of people didn't have access to full spectrum CBD. And a lot of what, like when you look at all these ailments, they need a combination, and people are only getting their isolated CBD stuff. So that was another reason why I really wanted to just start growing it myself and just being able to give that to people, even like anyone from home. Like you don't have to go through a doctor to get it. Well, it depends on which state you live in, actually. But
Yeah.
that was that Charlotte's Web, like that picture of that girl and that that article that was written about her was the one that started it all a very, very, very long time ago. Hello. I didn't see what that said about Harlequin. That's a good CBD plant, but I don't have that one.
Yeah, it's one that's high on my list to pick up eventually. Sooner rather than later too.
Cheers, Jason. Cheers, Hoobie.
But that's also one that I've been a little bit passionate about is finding a good seed. You know, the Harlequin was known to be that good kind of 1-to-1, right? A real good mixed even ratio. And yeah, I've been wanting to get that in some of these other higher test different flavor profiles, you know, to add a little CBD into some of the weed I like more, you know, because typically it's been pretty one note and you know, I want different notes. So, yeah. So,
yeah.
have you ever run the, what's up?
That's why I wanted to do different flavors. That way people could choose like a different variety of like which flavor that they want to try in case if they get too bored with one and want to get into like trying something else.
See, that's where you got me, is because I would love to try something other than all the CBDs I've tried either taste like hay or kind of like red licorice, kind of like Nibs candy sort of thing. Where it's cherry-ish, but not like cherry, not real cherry, right? I keep hearing about like, yeah, you can get other terpenes in there as well. That would be great, like oranges or something like that.
Yeah.
I see you talking about watermelons. That'd be another great one.
Oh yeah, like limonines or myrcines or shit like that. Yeah. No, I would love to be able to test these on their terpene profile. I wonder if it's too late to do that.
Man, that sun went down fucking fast.
Yeah. It goes down real quick. Mountain time.
Like 2 minutes ago, I could see you in your garden just fine.
Good thing, like I really light up. I'm so white, like Casper right now. And then you could see just that bed behind me. That bed, the white one used to be my first tomato bed a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
I did really awesome tomatoes in there. That's why it has like this, what would you call it? Like a bridge thing on top of it, so that way I could pull my strings up, and then the tomatoes crawl up the strings. And then, the year after that, I just decided to put up this whole fence all around it and say, okay, this is just this garden for hemp only. And anything that grows out of that back area, for some reason, that whole back, like those plants are always the tallest. So when I bring them out here, like in June, and they're veg plants, I always put the smallest one in there and in that tomato cage. And for some reason, they're just, whoever goes in the back there is going to be the happiest. So they grow really big, nice and tall, strong. Like, I don't know. That bed is doing really good back there. So
gotta love that shit.
Yeah. And that's the pink panther back there right now. So it just smells so amazing. It's definitely my favorite smell. In the past, it used to be really, really, really dark purple. But right now, I'm not seeing too much dark purple just yet.
Think that'll change with the seasons as it gets colder outside?
Yeah, that's supposed to be what happens, is when it gets colder, that'll get darker, but it hasn't been super cold lately. It's like an extended summer. I don't know. It's been really hot and intense this year.
I've noticed on tomatoes that we have outside that are kind of just under our carport drip line, just inside from that, I guess. The stuff that's on the outside, the leaves are starting to go purple a little bit already.
Yeah.
And stuff that's inside, facing inside the carport, is still green and more normal looking.
We had that when I worked. I worked for this one dispensary, and we used to have like this grape ape, and it would turn real purple if you had it right next to the AC. So anytime we were flipping a room, we always made sure that the grape ape was like right next to the ACs in the room. And you would only get like a few, just whichever plants were right next to the AC would turn purple, because the rest of the room was way too hot.
Yeah. That's cool how you can play with and bring out certain traits. That's the word I'm looking for in certain plants like that. I do like purple.
Yeah. Purple's definitely my favorite color. Purple and pink.
Do you do any extra, like trying to feed with any extra anthocyanins or anything to try to encourage the purple through any of your garden there? Because I know you are making some
No.
teas and things like that
Yeah.
lately.
This year it was just watermelon ferment for that
Okay.
part. So I
You
wasn't
using
trying
Miles's
anything.
ferment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything with, like, one thing I wanted to do because I had a whole bunch of it was the blue corn tea right at transplant, but I was just really busy at that time, so I wasn't able to, like, because with the blue corn, you have to, like, soak it and then rinse the water and then soak it and then rinse the water and soak it, and you do this for, like, so many days until they finally sprout, and then you blend that. But then, like, other ones were like beets and stuff like that. You could, like, beet juice, pour that in. I didn't do those this year, although I should have, and I'm thinking about doing it next year. But the one with the blue corn, it's like, have you ever done a sprouted seed tea, like the fast sprouted seed tea?
Yeah, I've done it with, like, say I had like a herm plant or something, had a bunch of seeds come off of
Oh,
it. So I'll take and I'll fucking sprout all those up and I'll whip them up into basically what would
oh,
amount to a
cool.
hemp seed sprout tea.
Yeah, I never even thought about using hemp seeds for that. I
Yeah,
used
yeah, it works great. And they
alfalfa
sprout
grows
so
really
damn fast,
quickly. Like, if
just
you did
chucking in.
alfalfa, it's done the next day. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't take too much preparation to do, like, an alfalfa one.
Yeah, I'll do the same with barley too. And I mean, we all
Oh,
know how
yeah.
well barley works in the garden. So
Yeah.
sprouting up some barley to get all those good enzymes and shit.
Yeah, I did put a
Sure.
lot of barley in here and made some barley, I wouldn't call it barley sprouted tea, but it was like grinded up barley into some tea for the
Yeah.
rest of the microorganisms to chew on. I want to move my computer in my patio where the light is, so I'm gonna put it down real quick and join you guys back in 1 minute.
Not a
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Sounds like a good time, dude, Dab. Yeah. Yeah, last seed tea I sprouted there I had suds coming off about a foot above my bucket there in the 5-gallon bucket I used. And I had to mop the floor quite thoroughly, if I actually recall from that one. It was a good one. But that was like one of those where, like, I don't recall how many seeds I used, but they like multiplied at least 4 times the amount that was originally in there when I added water to them. And so it was just like that. There was like basically 2-liter containers of yogurt. I think is what I ended up having to grind those up in the blender and adding those. You know what I keep doing? I keep looking down at this on the corner of my eye, like I'm gonna drink it because it looks like a straw and like it's probably something yummy, like maybe chocolate, but it's not. It's
No, that looks like my fucking garden bucket. Don't drink out of that.
yeah, no, it's
If you tell
like
me that's
it's
your
what
fucking coffee for the day, I'm gonna get really upset.
if it's like. Do you ever like do that where it's like you worry about like getting too high and just like keep your eyes on something like this? Because it's one of those things where I could. It's a stretch, but I could almost see that like maybe you get like fucking like I don't know, just too fucking high and start coughing. You need a drink or something. Like go to grab the first thing you can find, and it's like, oh shit, that was a 2-liter bucket of nutrients. Now, like like. I've seen and heard of stupid shit happening in life, people.
I don't so because I much like you, I have weird brown buckets of things that usually are around. So I don't have my coffee usually anywhere near my nutrient mixing. And I don't drink my coffee while I'm mixing any of my nutrients for that very fucking reason. Because I have almost, and I mean it was like like the smell got me right before it hit my lips type thing. You know what I mean?
See,
I
I
was
get
like,
paranoid. I'm bad for bringing my coffee into the nutrient mixing station. And I'll even think on
Yep.
my way in where I'm like, I'll be extra careful. And then as soon as I start mixing something, and I'll even have my coffee way over there, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I should just know better that as soon as I bring it in here, I don't want it anymore. Like, just don't even bother. But it's just it's not an every time thing, but it's a very frequent thing where, like, at least once a week, probably, where I'm like, oh, it's all good. I'll be fine.
I like my coffee hot too, and I'll bring it like when I'm going in the garden, and I don't know why I think I'm going to sit and relax and have this coffee and smoke this bowl and look at my garden and not do anything. Like usually I go in there with my garden and my weed, and I sit and I take a few puffs and I look at my beautiful garden, and I got to get up and do something and forget all about the hot coffee. When I come back, it's cold and it's no good.
Right. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. That's what happens is you go in there, you sit down, you take one sip of coffee and you go, fuck, I have got a lot of shit to do. So you put the coffee down and then it's off to work you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where mine always ends up. And then you come back to cold coffee. But hopefully 3 or 4 joints later.
Yeah, I don't like cold coffee. I like it hot. And then it's like you got to have it early. Like I don't like having coffee all day long. I just want like my morning couple cups to like get me up. But what ends up happening is like I'm already up and already working, so might as well just forget about coffee for the day.
Yeah, I'm bad. I can sit there and drink coffee all day long. Oh, thanks, Stony Creek. I am looking extra handsome these days. I appreciate that. But I find I've got stomach problems and have for years. So me drinking coffee all day long is not doing myself any favors. And I don't need all that extra caffeine to drink coffee all day long. So what I've been trying to do is get to the point where I'll have 2 or maybe 3 cups in the morning before I go to work. And then I've got a travel mug that will basically take my entire French press, and I'll try and bring that for like kind of have that for ready to go for kind of towards the end of the day, towards the end of work, where you last hour, 2 hours of the day where you're starting to get tired.
And they want to keep you going by then. Okay.
Yeah, for the ride home or whatever. And I find that's where I really appreciate another cup of coffee is right there instead of drinking it all day long.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Got your sword and all that shit.
Yeah, I try to stick to just 2 in the morning, and then if I'm going to work that day, just the 2 in the morning and then water after that. But it's hard. I'm tired all the time. And actually, I stopped drinking caffeinated coffee because if a day went by and I didn't have caffeinated coffee, then I would have really bad migraines all day. And I didn't like that caffeine or coffee could give me that problem, so I just stopped drinking it. And I've been really tired ever since.
And it's bullshit because I need that energy.
I need that energy.
I need that shit.
Yeah. I have like 1 cup of coffee accidentally with caffeine, and it's like, man, I forgot how great this felt. I
remember quitting drinking coffee for a lot of years. Like back in the younger days, like I mentioned, stomach problems, and it was like either alcohol or coffee, and coffee don't get you buzzed. So it seemed like a one question or thing to quit drinking coffee. And then I quit drinking alcohol years later, and it was right before Christmas when I did this, and I was worried I couldn't get through the Christmas season without drinks. So I was like, I need something that I can kind of focus on. So I decided coffee. And so I decided I'm going to go to Tim Hortons, which is, I guess, probably Canadian equivalent of a Dunkin' Donuts. Oh. And I go and get myself an extra large black coffee because that's always the way I've drank it. And I remember I get like halfway through this thing and I am absolutely just fucking vibrating, just like from all the caffeine, because I haven't had that much in
a long time,
probably like 5 years, maybe somewhere around there at that point. And it was just like I had the dog that she used to love going for walks, so it's like, okay, dog, we're going for a walk. It's I'm fucking jittery as hell running down the street.
Got to do something with all this energy.
yeah, he thought it was great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Man, how so? Like your products, like what all are you having now? Are you just you're selling basically the flour, and you got some pre-rolls that you guys do, the little flight pack?
Yeah,
How are
Just basically
those
that.
going? But I'm sorry,
A
what?
lot of people just basically those two things, the flower and
Yeah,
the pre-rolls, then the flight pack. A lot of people really like the flight pack because that gives them the option to try different flavors for them to sample, kind of like which one they like. Or sometimes people just want it just to like smoke with their friends, like it's their fun occasion. They're getting together with friends, they want to smoke a CBD joint, and they're not trying to get high because they're not potheads, but they like doing that and sharing that with their friends and having a good time. That sells really well. I really like making those too because nobody else really does that when they're selling their joint packs. It's all usually the same flavor from everything that I saw. Although I have had suggestions of doing like smaller ones, like making dog walkers and probably like 3 or 5 of the same flavor, but like in a dog walker size, which is basically a personal joint that you would use if you're going to go take your dog for a walk.
aren't all joints personal when you really break it down?
I know, like it doesn't matter to me how big it is.
Yeah, it turns into a personal joint if you keep long enough.
If you took enough hits, just save it for later. I don't know. But yeah. Right now the oldest ones from the 22 season, like I'm gonna give those like at a really, really, really big discount because I only have so many bags left and I'm really just trying to hurry up and get rid of it. And the stuff from last year, it's still doing pretty good. I keep it all up in those groove bags with the terp block stuff. Like I have like big bags for a couple of pounds that it holds in it. So those ones do really, really well.
Yeah.
But I always like to tell people, if you really want to try it, you got to have something fresh. So like soon as this harvest becomes available sometime in October, it's going to be like really fresh, and it's best to get it then before it gets too degraded. Like the
Right.
terp block bags hold it nice for a long time, but can't hold it forever.
Right.
So
Right.
older stuff, I always tell people I highly recommend, unless you could care less about the flavor of it, I just highly recommend you use this to infuse.
Yeah. So have you thought of just trying to add something like that to your products as well as just making your own tinctures to send off to people?
I want to. I make a batch every year. So I have some that I would sell to friends, like maybe if you hit me up on Instagram or something, or shoot me an email. But the thing is, if I wanted to offer it on my website, I would have to make it in like a
Like a lab, a
certified
clean room
kitchen.
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A special kitchen that's like certified by health and safety. And I would have to store it in a special fridge. I couldn't just store it in my fridge. I would have to pay a bottling company to bottle the oil for me because I wouldn't be allowed to just get it done at home in order to have the permission to sell that product. So I'm like, if you're thinking about how much I would want to sell this bottle to somebody for, like $20. And if I'm jumping through all these hoops, that now
A lot
raises
of
the
fucking
price of the
20s you
bottle.
got to sell before it makes it worth it.
Yeah, exactly. So I've decided to just keep it simple and stick with just the flour.
Like it.
I don't know where the future might go, but I'm thinking about just like maybe just doing like kind of more wholesale, not even doing the small cute bags, whatever people want to buy, you know what I mean? I just want to be able to grow and then give people the CBD medicine, and if they decide to like wholesale like a pound or something like that and then use it for whatever they want to use it for, to give or to sell or to raise money for some special occasion,
Oh,
then
yeah, that'd be awesome.
it might go that way. Yeah. Whatever works out
Nice.
best. I'm just trying to keep myself afloat.
And we all.
It's kind of agree with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing with it, in terms of just inviting more regulations and more people looking into what you're doing if you were to go with other methods of consumption or putting on or whatever.
I mean, it's not horrible to think about, the going above and beyond for them to make sure that it's a safe product that's going out to people. But, things, I mean, if it's a sealed product, like I mean, I don't see why you have to have that fridge. You know, it's a sealed product. What can happen? You know, keep it at the proper temperatures. But
yeah, take good care of your tools and your glasses,
you know,
sterilize everything, make sure you got a nice clean environment that you're cooking in.
right. I mean, we all eat our own cooking, right? You know, we don't
Yeah,
have to
exactly. Well,
professional
it's like
cookies
if
and
you went to a friend's house and you had a friend's cooking, and for whatever reason their cooking got you sick. You know what I mean?
But I mean, right. I mean, you know, the thought of, you know, if I was to want to do this on like a farmer's market scale, you know,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, are you being made in a lab? Is this, you know, I'm just going to buy your medicine and fucking trust that you're not a complete piece of shit. And then if you turn out to be one, I better hope I don't see you at the next farmer's market. It's that simple.
You got something I wanted. Take my money. Give me your product.
That's right.
Honestly, for the most part, I'm more likely to trust the person at the farmer's market too than I am at going to the overpriced dispensary and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that explains some of the ridiculousness of the overpricing if you do have to go to a dispensary for whatever your medication is. Because if you're having to pay someone to bottle up your medicines, if you're going to, you know, do oils or anything like that, that means sounds like every other cannabis company has to do the same thing. It's just like, does that explain all the big, way over elaborate packaging that we seem to see with legal cannabis as well? Like, it's just,
yes.
I mean, you basically got to solve a Rubik's Cube to get into a freaking a jar of dabs, and you're like, the fuck?
What is this?
I'm a stoner here, like not a math whiz.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta collect the free keys.
Yeah,
like, to unlocking your pouch of cannabis.
Yeah, I think last time I got like a cartridge or something to do some traveling, there was some real fucked up antiquated way to get it like out, and I like it literally after screwing it for a few minutes, like I walked in the house with like a couple sets of pliers. And my kid just looks at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm going to get it open. And he's just like, geez, it's that simple. And I was like, no, if it was that fucking simple, I would have had it out 5 fucking minutes ago.
Right.
And I wouldn't have these tools right now.
Yeah. Where were you? Wait, like, it's also like he heard you swearing and cursing at this thing for the last 15 minutes, too, just giggling and shit like that, right? And he's like, now that you're about to actually crack it open, he's got to come and have that
loosened it for him.
moment. And
no, what probably happened was my wife was probably like, Dad's losing his shit. You need to get down here real quick. Like, I can't talk to him. He's losing his shit. He can't get the drugs open. Because at that point, I'm bitching about my fucking dangerous drugs, right?
They're gonna explode all over your carpet. Like,
yeah, and I'm gonna kill 13 babies, 4 kittens, you know, with this thing that I'm about to open. You know, thank God I've got the nuclear codes.
Yeah. It's dangerous stuff there. How many people every year again die from cannabis consumption, and we got this so ridiculously overpackaged? Like,
I think more than a few of you guys on Instagram sent me the one where the raccoon got into the fucking old edibles, and it's just like, you know, you just see that fucker just it's just like, right, there's the worst you have to worry about, people.
Yeah, I saw a good one yesterday or the day before. What was apparently a drunk jaguar, and it had gotten into whatever it was in, and somehow drank up a bunch of food.
That too.
Drank, and then the villagers are walking with it. It's like leaving the town.
A jaguar?
Yeah,
Oh.
They've been known to actually hunt out the fucking overripe fruit to get hammered. Yeah.
I saw that monkeys like to do that. They know when to like wait for a tree to have overripened fruit, and they go there and they eat so much, and then for the rest of the afternoon they're all just drunk and lying around and just being goofy and going in circles.
Right? The fuck, they just got ripped. They all just had a party. They all knew that tree was coming up to be party tree. They planned it. And then they had a big old fucking goofy monkey fucking.
It's a celebration. Around. There's like a monkey wedding or something. So they're like, hey, let's go out to the tree. We got to celebrate the wedding.
Yeah, it was Baloo's birthday.
Yeah, something. It's a Tuesday.
feel-
Let's go.
I feel like that'd be a lot of fun to watch. Just a bunch of drunk monkeys up in a tree.
Dude, YouTube it. It's hilarious.
Oh man, you guaranteed shit is gonna get thrown at you. Guaranteed.
Oh,
they're
if
gonna
you're
throw
there,
shit.
yeah.
I'll throw shit back. I'll be like, you know what? If we're doing this,
So,
Come,
all right,
come
fuckers,
pre-planned. You're gonna
you
have to
started
have like
it.
a week's worth.
start pooping in the bag beforehand. Start like pooping into like a cupcake tray or something like that. So
Yeah, there you go. Freeze it.
Yeah.
By the time you get out to the middle of the jungle, it'll be thawed.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Get yourself one of those snowball scoopers.
Sure, but how do you do this to people? This is a respectable, nice lady down here talking about throwing frozen poop back at monkeys. What the fuck? Saying not only that, saving it for a week so that you can fucking go to war with drunken
Makes
monkeys.
sense. I mean, it's not just you and one other monkey. I mean, you and several monkies. So
Yeah, I mean, you're going to war with drunken monkeys.
You'll be there beside me, Fluff. Like
yeah.
you're gonna see
I
me.
am a good friend. That is what I do.
Dude,
I'll be
you're
hiding in
gonna
the
see me
bushes
pooping
recording
into
it for
cupcake
YouTube.
trays, and you're just gonna be like,
I don't know why
Say
we're
no
doing
more.
this, but let's go, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You ain't got to
This is-
explain. Fucking, let's just do this.
like this is the most interesting thing I've seen all week. We're just gonna let it ride.
Oh God.
This is almost
just
as
think
cool as
about-
that Pantera and Metallica concert. Almost.
Might even be better by the time we're done. We'll end up on like front page of like the New York Times or something like that.
Yeah.
Like freaking
Man goes to
couple of
warfare with monkeys and poop battle.
yeah, couple of drunken idiots break into the Central Park Zoo or something like that. Start
Three
poop fight with the
stoned
monkeys.
idiots
Then we'll be like, we weren't drunk, we were high off our asses.
Right, no. The news title would be 3 stoned idiots have a poop fight with drunken monkeys. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Short,
Dude.
sweet, and to the point.
Okay, so wait, like
I mean, I wanna
honestly
read
though,
that
how
news
many?
headline.
How many of y'all, if you saw the 3 of us up here getting arrested for starting a shit fight with a bunch of monkeys in a zoo, how many of you would just excitedly and gleefully point at the TV, the computer screen, your phone, or whatever, and be like, I know them. Oh my God, I know that was them. Holy shit. Like,
I know
That-
these idiots.
dude, okay, well, think about the Hawk Tua chick and how famous she
Right.
got for a dumb freaking punchline like that. We would actually be like the poop fighting monkey people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we
Poop
actually
fight
did
monkey.
something.
Oh yeah, they're the poop fighting monkey people. That's right.
I think that is exactly how Snakes on a Plane got edited. Like
Oh,
with
yeah.
those exact words, we're poop fighting monkey.
Well,
Never
that would
mind.
be
That's
too
an
fun.
inside joke with like me and my family. There's like 3 people who understand that. Like my
Okay, good, because I was confused.
okay. So what it is?
Now you gotta
right?
explain.
Yeah, I gotta explain. So the edited version of Snakes on a Plane is fucking hilarious, right?
Oh,
Because
you have the Blu-ray?
no, edited for TV.
Oh,
So
okay.
like put that shit on CBS and be like, sure, what is Samuel Jackson gonna say? All kinds of funny shit. Let me tell you what, it's fucking hilarious to watch the edited for TV Snakes on a Plane.
Oh.
But so for us, it was at one point in the movie, fucking Samuel L. Jackson, in some weird dubbing, exclaims that he is very sick of these monkey fighting. What do you say? These monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. So it's just been a fucking thing in our. It's a thing.
Stupidest thing ever.
Right, but I've remembered this shit for
But it
like
works.
20 fucking years. And it's been funny every time I fucking thought about it.
Yeah. Oh,
Cheers,
man, now I
Marsha.
gotta
You
go see
joined
that.
in at the right time, brother. That's weird shit going on around here.
I'm telling you, man. I'm just saying, if y'all get the chance and it ever comes back, watch the edited version. It's fucking
Yep.
hilarious. You would never want to watch him say another cuss word again after seeing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
editing. And the best part was, I think they honestly tried to make sure they never repeated the same thing twice. you know,
Oh,
for
so
what he
that
was
was
saying.
just
So
one phrase, and throughout the
yes,
movie,
it
there's
was
several
like only
things
one
similar.
of the many fucking
Oh,
gold things that came out
try
of
to
his
write
mouth
them all
during that.
down.
Right.
You imagine the look on his face when he has to go into the voice studio and like re-record all this stuff. He's like,
Yeah.
why would I say that? I'm like, well, because we're paying you lots of money. Oh, okay, that's all making no sense.
Okay.
Bullshit. You know that man fucking walks in there ripped and goes, "Oh, that's some funny shit. All right, let's do this. Hold on.
Yeah.
I bet you he has a wicked sense of humor. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of fun to spend a day with.
He's a hard worker too. He's always in everything. Like a lot of actors will do like something big and then take a I don't know if
Yeah,
they
hold on.
if they're
Like
taking time off or
he
just
does a lot of work, but have you seen his
always. He's
word
always in
status?
work.
Like he gets paid a lot for basically one word.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw something where it breaks down like his lines in a movie and shit, and it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny how much money he makes off the word motherfucker.
Oh, snap.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's good. At least he's keeping
I
himself
mean, hey,
busy. Everyone seems to like it.
right? If something's gonna
Yeah.
be a shtick, why not, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I have to go back and watch like Pulp Fiction or something like that.
Yeah, that was a good one. What do you guys got planned for this weekend?
Boof Fest.
That's this weekend.
That is this weekend. This is the weekend we all get
Oh.
together. We smoke a whole lot of really good cannabis and act like a bunch of kids in the woods.
Nice. And is there camping?
Yes. Yeah, there's cabins, there's camping, there's a cool little haunted hotel a little bit down the way if you know you want to have some fun. So,
Nice.
yeah, we're growing every year. It gets bigger, more fun, better food, better fucking edibles, better weed, better pressing.
Are there like food vendors there too, or
Raiders coming to fucking cook us pizzas?
Nuh-uh. I saw him over at the Dude Gross Cup. That's fucking dope.
Yes, ma'am. Raider comes.
Raider
And
Bank
basically,
Raider.
this is all a community-driven thing. So you know, it's the community doing it. You know, it's basically like big summer camp, and now we've just kind of we're gonna set the groundwork for a little bit of a cup to go along with it. So
Yeah, you should. That'd be really cool.
yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. Just to give people like something to come together and talk about, like, oh, what did you do? Because then you could learn something off of that guy. Like maybe he did something differently, and or like one of those things where everybody gets like the same seed and then they all go home and they all try to grow the same plant and see how different it looks in everybody's environments. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Where is that in
Yeah.
Michigan?
What's that? Well,
Is
we
that
do it
in-
actually in Southern Illinois right now.
Oh, really? I
where
thought
we do.
Michigan was home of the boofers.
Got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
We got
I
a few of
swear
them up
the
there.
first time I've ever heard that term was from Michigan growers.
Oh yeah. Oh, the booth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, it's bees used to. We had a guy that used to be on our panel, and he had MDMA and was thinking about sticking it in his butt, and somehow that translated to the name of anybody that hangs out in our crew.
Well, like
yeah.
out in Michigan, it was like their way of like watering a plant. You know, butt chugging. So you like have your spray of water and you put your plant on top of it, and you let the plant absorb the water from the bottom up, and then put it back in your grow tent or whatever.
You actually see abolished in the chat right there. Yeah, I know it's I know what they're getting at, but I know in our case we are actually talking about sticking drugs up your ass, which I don't even think he actually did it. I don't even think he actually did it. I think he just said he thought about it because he didn't have enough to take in a pill for him and was like trying to think about how to maximize the possible high or something like that.
You guys are crazy.
And then somehow from that, again, everybody that hangs out around the show in the live channel proudly proclaims themselves boofers. It's fun. I don't get it. I'll help foster and harbor it because it is what it is at this point.
TV show.
It's
I mean, there's so many other meanings for boof. It's just the one that ours kind of got founded around was a little bit odd.
Yeah.
I believe we were also talking about the prison purse extensively that evening, about getting things in and out of prison.
Yeah.
So
There's one way.
Well, shit. Now I got to go back and watch old episodes so I can figure this out and see. Let's figure out how far back you actually have to go.
Like fucking almost 4 years.
Dang.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been doing the show for? 4 years?
It'll be 4 years.
Getting close.
Yeah, since we've been doing it in a panel format, it'll be 4 years next month, I think. And then since I think it was December, once we started adding guys like Fluff and all, and Raider and other guys started coming around. Actually, no, Raider was still just hanging out in the live chats back then. That was until after the Discord showed up.
Oh man, it took a long time to get Raider in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Took a long time. Then he'd get all high school high with us on Fridays and giggle like a schoolgirl, and it was great.
I know.
Oh, cool.
Now he doesn't hang out anymore.
Well, we're all busy and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
In real life. Boo.
I'm gonna laugh this weekend while I see him try to bribe my wife for a carrot cake with pizza. So
let's do a trade. Makes sense.
I think that's what he's trying to get down, man.
Yeah, why not? I mean, his pizzas are really amazing.
Oh, they are fucking fire. I think one of the best things I ever heard. So it would have been last year. Would have been, hold on, let me think. Maybe it was the first year, actually. I think Raider was there, and he was cooking pizzas for us. And one of our good friends, his companion, girlfriend, wife, I don't remember if she's his wife or girlfriend. Anyway, she was just she just looked at us. She goes, "Ooh, I think these outside pizzas are now my favorite pizzas ever."
Outside pizzas.
They were called the outside pizzas. Oh man, it was great because that first we were cooking them outside, out on his grill and eating them out there. It was fucking great.
Yeah, those are really good. Getting one of those is
I know.
Ooh, fresh, hot. I had to let it cool off for a while. I was so hungry. I got him when he was over at the Dude Grows Cup in June. So I met him for the first time. I had to walk up to the pizza tent so who's Raider Dank Vader? And everyone's turning around and pointing at him. He's like, I am. Hi. I felt like an idiot. Sorry, never seen you before, but nice to meet you. I'm Julie.
That's one of the things, though. A lot of us, we've seen a lot of faces in the live chats and stuff like that, but
yeah,
there's still a lot of faces that we haven't seen. Whereas they see us a few times a week, or they see you on Instagram as often as you are, and I can imagine it's my hope is to get down to booth camp for next year, and there will be people that'll come up to me they've known me for years, and I just because I don't have a place to go with the name, and then it'll be say Marshall. I just saw him saying he's hoping to make it next year, right? And they'll be, oh shit, you're not what I thought you'd look like.
Yeah.
You're much shorter.
I don't know what they look like, so they could definitely see me anywhere. So I always try to tell people if I'm doing a vendor boothing somewhere, and I would say, come out and say hi, please introduce yourself, please. If we know each other, will you come up to me and say, hey, I'm so and so, we follow each other on Instagram for the past 4 years. It's oh, cool. I didn't know you looked like that because none of your photos have your face in them.
Right. I'm telling you, I walked into a backyard in Canada, not, basically knowing one person and being almost everybody there knows me. And, I know names. Once you introduce me, I'm like, oh shit.
That's right.
I definitely, it usually goes the same way. It's wow, they look at me and they go, well, you're shorter than I thought you were. And I'm like, you too. And
I'm really short. Yeah. I just put my camera down low to make me look tall.
Yeah, I was I got an angle. Look, man, there's a wall behind me. I can only get so far away from my computer. It makes me look huge.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
But no, I the same thing, man. I love getting introduced to people. It's just like,
Yeah, I really do like meeting people, especially since like we sort of already have something in common. We sort of already kind of know each other, but now we're like finally meeting for the first time face to face and talking about shit. Like that's super awesome. I really like doing that. Or even like doing shows because this is also like my way of kind of seeing you guys like not face to face, but we're still having this back and forth conversation, which is really nice getting to know each other.
Well, and the thing I like about these platforms like this is
Yeah.
finally being able to talk to like-minded people.
Yeah.
Or if I don't know something about CBD, I've got questions, I can reach out to you and ask or whatever, because nobody that lives in my area, I can have cannabis conversations. Most of them will smoke weed, and they'll sit there and get real high with me, but they don't know shit about growing.
Yeah, and like
And
you start talking about soil, and you know they're like don't want to listen to that conversation, and you're like, man, nobody wants to talk about plants.
See the point in their face where they shut
They
ears off, and now they're just fucking indulging me, really, right? And it's like whereas I come here and we can talk for literally hours. We talk for hours every week about the subjects of cannabis and different ways of growing and stuff like that. And it's just awesome because I think that the learning curve, and how much we can shorten the learning curve for new growers, because mine was long and painful, but it capped off by stubborn. Like my family has a world record stubborn streak that runs through it, and you know, it gets pretty ridiculous at points. And like, don't tell me I can't grow good weed this way, right? You know what? The people that knew told me, and they were right. They just needed to fucking fail a few times along the way to realize that they were right. And
exactly.
Like,
yeah, you know, it's like even when you go to the party and you find that guy and he's like, no, man, that guy grows weed, and you go over to talk to that guy and you find out that that dude is still not as much of a fucking nerd as you are. You're just like, and you still get that. I was like, oh, I thought you might want to talk about weed. Never mind.
Or what you'd be more likely to find in my area is some old school growers that are probably actually still growing for black market purposes or whatever, right? Which is cool. Hey, man, I'm all for that. Do your thing. But they are still old school and they will not talk. You know, they come from that keep your mouth shut, you don't ask questions era, which is, once again, I fully understand, especially the older folks that are getting into their 60s and 70s. They've gone their whole lives fucking under the threat of jail time. So a lot of our friends down in America are still under the threat of jail time, right?
It ain't free. That's right. Martial artists. Like,
that's right. That's exactly it. Right.
While you're smoking on that, lend me your ears. I have so much to explain to you how that came to be.
I am going to tell you all about the conception of this weed you are smoking right now.
Yeah, where it came from, its little baby stages. How
I know you don't care. I know you don't care, but by the end of that joint, you are going to be emotionally attached to that motherfucker.
Yeah, you're gonna feel one with that plant that you just consumed. Man, feeling the love.
And in reality, they're just fucking glazed over, going, "Man, I wish you'd shut up." And I am fucking baked.
My mom is like, she literally turned around because I was talking to my parents as we were taking a long drive. It was a very long drive, like a 3-hour drive, and I was going on and talking about growing. She turns around, she goes, "If you mention poop one more time, I swear to God, I'm going to kick you out of this truck." And I was like, microbials. She's just like, shut up. Because everything with gardening is poop. Like you're using like chicken poop, bat poop, fish poop, worm poop, cow poop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like Forrest Gump and shrimp, right?
See, that was the best part. My mother grew up doing that, right? My mom's all about the poop in the garden, loves the poop. We'll go get the farmer poop, the worm poop, this poop, that poop. She loves it, right? My sister grew up to be a actual agricultural, like, I forget her title. One of them smart people who actually do the microbe shit. And so she tries to actually like educate my mom. My mom just like glazes over and goes, "The poop works."
Yeah, I don't need all this scientific explanation to know that the
Yeah,
poop works.
but then I'll call my sister and I'll be like, "Ooh, we could have a talk about it." And she's like, "Man, I have got shit to do. This is what I do for a living. I ain't got time to talk about it all goddamn fucking night with you."
Aw.
No, she loves talking about it with me when we get together, and usually it's everybody else looking at us going, "Shut the fuck up. We don't care about your gardens."
Yes. Yes.
You see it, but that's also where you finally get to have that good conversation with your sister, and you get people that are like, "Well, you guys shut in." You like, no, you guys fuck off, because I don't get this very often. So you see how content we are.
Get on the level, bitches.
Yeah.
Okay, learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much talk about poop, you guys.
So, do you have anything in the garden, like any like cool vegetables or things like that going on in the garden, other than
Tomatoes
cannabis?
are doing really amazing right now. I have so many tomatoes. We've been giving them away to friends, and I've also made like a double tomato bisque soup recipe because we have I planted too many tomatoes. You know, like once a plant's doing really well, you have a hard time just killing it off for no reason other than you don't have the space for it. So you just let that little monster be, and then next thing you know, everything's so out of control and you have way too much. My squash took off. I have had a few zucchinis. At the beginning of the season, I had these super delicious sweet peas. You could just like snap them off and eat them raw. So good. And some strawberries. But strawberries stopped producing, and so did the sweet peas. So I looked into why the strawberries stopped producing. It's because they send like a vine out to dig and create more space and go out again. And I guess you're supposed to cut it off at a certain timing. And if you cut it off, that more strawberries will grow.
Yeah. Otherwise, basically, you just move your bed to where the runners move over, and that'll be your next set of fruit for the next year, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's what I
you
was
take those
thinking.
runners and replant back in
Oh,
your
okay.
bed. That you can do
I
that.
was
You
thinking
can
of
do
letting
that.
them take over the bed this year, and hopefully next year I'll go back and figure out the correct pruning of strawberries. That way, hopefully next year the whole bed is just giving me strawberries.
Yeah, I'm not the best with them.
Oh, okay.
I got to get better with them because I'd
This
like
is
to
my
grow
first
a
year
patch.
doing it successfully.
What's that?
This is my first year growing them successfully.
Nice.
Yeah, I've tried several times in the past and haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, I was going to start a bed this year to get them moving, and I just none of my seeds germinated, and so I got another set, or I'll just wait until next season and get some runners to start out the season. My runners this year, when we went out on vacation, ended up drying up. I had some nice ones that started, but it was like right in the hot time of the season, and they just no one was here to water them. It didn't rain, they just fucking crisped up and went bye-bye. So
that it's kind of tricky to try to set up like an irrigation, because I could have one coming off the hose, but the hose needs to be turned on while I'm gone. And so a little bit of it is leaking out every day, only for it to go off once for 10 minutes every other day. Like it's not really worth it. I'm trying to like figure out other ways to get my plants kind of irrigated in a timely manner if I was to leave for a week or even a few weeks.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I'm running them on that indoor bed, but if you
Oh,
had
indoors is easy.
well, yeah.
Wait, let me rephrase
I tried to
that.
stay away from it, and I tried to like find something to irrigate myself, and I'm not a big fan of like the blue mats, and I didn't want to do like
Me neither.
peppering.
I don't know why everyone is so obsessed with them. I just don't think, I feel like for too many people, they have kind of failed and flooded their garden space. Yeah. And that could be like obviously indoors. So I just don't see.
So I like the have you seen like I saw them on like Instagram first, was just like one of the things, but the thirsty earth, like the clay pots that you stick in the ground.
Yeah, you bury them and you fill those up with water.
Yep, love those things.
I want to get some of those. Then before you leave, you just fill up all those pots And then
So
you
I have a
probably
system that you just tap it right in. It's got its own reservoir. The reservoir feeds it. So you
oh
could like put a 55-gallon like rain barrel on it, and then it would just fill them up itself until the 55 gallons is gone,
that's a
or
great
until that
idea.
50. Yeah, they're great. It's called the Thirsty Earth. Is what they're called. You should, they were super.
I'm gonna look that up right now, dude.
I've
Because
got them on my
I was just looking for something. What's it called? The Thirsty Earth?
yep, Thirsty Earth.
And that's the
Oh,
whole setup, or that's
yep,
just the pots? Oh
yep.
shit. Oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah, I've had great luck with them.
Oh,
That's what I run in my 4x8 bed inside, and they friggin' love it. I ran the whole
nice.
cycle. I never hand watered once through a whole cycle. So
I like hand watering. I just want I just want to be able to like go
yeah,
somewhere
that would
for
be a
sometimes.
right. That'd be a good alternative to be able to, or even during the like the really hot the hot seasons to be able to actually like get at the root zone so you're not getting as much water loss, so you're just not paying for water for it to fucking evaporate off the
Yeah,
top of
exactly.
your surface, then. And that's why I really like the cups that actually go down inside the ground like that, because they really do since it wicks out into that system,
Yeah.
and or if the plant can just it can run the roots right over and just hug those things and just drink all at once. They're super helpful, and they're very water efficient. So
Yeah. Yeah, those ones look really nice actually. The ones I thought you were talking about was like a homemade clay pot that looks more like a vase where it's
yeah,
got like a
yep,
wide bubble and then a small little tube.
yep,
Because I saw videos of those of some gardeners. They were trying to set up a community garden to like grow food for like the poor people in their neighborhood. And they were saying like because it's super 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 hot whatever state that they were living in, and they couldn't be at the garden every single day to water, so they decided to incorporate those pots because they knew that they could water the garden and get all the soil nice and moist and then fill up the pots, and the pot will hold on to its water until the moisture gets lost in the soil, then it gets leaked out into the soil.
yeah. Yep, it's a great system. I mean, it's been around for thousands of years to
And you
irrigate
plug it
stuff.
in with like your rainwater and stuff.
What's that?
You plug it in with your rainwater.
I haven't yet, but that's the goal. I would like to is actually get a excuse me, a switching valve over where I've got the water that comes into the reservoir
Oh,
that will run off my rain barrel outside. So eventually, I want to get that done. I just haven't got the plumbing done to do it yet.
yeah, I'd like to do that too. We're
Yeah, I
finally
would
allowed to
love to
collect
be
our own
able to.
rain.
You're right. Like rainwater would go a long way inside my indoor garden.
Yeah, yeah, the plants really, really love it when they get fed with rainwater versus regular city water. But
Yeah.
I put mine in like a big ass tank. I think that's like a 360-gallon tank or something. Just let it air bubble and let the chlorine gas off for a while. And plus the water is a little bit warmer too, so when I do go to water the soil, it's not freezing cold. Which outdoors isn't a big deal, but I've noticed like indoors you want to have like a nice temperature water, not too cold or too warm, but just like a nice temperature because of the way that microbes move at a perfect temperature. So if your water is too cold or too hot, then it just slows down the movement or something like that. Something goofy like that.
Well, it could shock your plants pretty good too if you're too cold or something like that. They're used to like regular warm, and you give them the ice treatment or something like that. And think about how you would feel if someone hit you with a bucket of water.
Hey,
Raining.
Hoobie!
Right.
One train for Booth Company.
Hey, Hoobie's made it. He knows what it's about. You got to put in some work if you're gonna hang at booth camp. Otherwise, you end up sleeping on a couch somewhere, missing everything. That or everybody's going, where did Julie go? Well, she's upstairs sleeping.
Right, right.
Okay, she's bagging a few.
Too many people show up with those Ziploc baggies and just like, hey, you want some? And you're like, okay.
Correct.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm here for. So yes, I do.
To get like a T-shirt that says like the answer is yes or something right across the front.
Yes, always yes. Just show up with the empty backpack. It'll be full by the time you leave.
That is a thing.
Or you bring your backpack full of stuff that you want to give out. It's almost like Valentine's Day or like Halloween when you were like in elementary school. You would bring a bag of candy to give to everybody else, and ideally everybody else would have given you candy in your bag.
Yeah.
Same thing. So you bring like a bag of goodies or edibles or seeds or weed. What do you guys bring out? Mushrooms?
I mean, there's been known to be some fungus among us.
There always is down here. Anytime we go to any Colorado event, like someone's always got extra mushrooms. Like, you want some?
Yeah, I know my state's finally starting to look into doing a little more therapy and getting it on the actual books. So it's they're working their way towards it. So it's not, so they're working on it.
That's
so it makes
good.
it a little easier. Yeah.
A lot of people have been using microdosing off of mushrooms to be able to help them out with like anxiety and depression and PTSD and stuff like that. Some people like might do more serious sessions with like sitting down with like a counselor that will allow them to like partake in this, and then they just kind of like are able to open up themselves and have like a real deep conversation about something that maybe they never really had the opportunity to get to the bottom of whatever issues that they were having. So
Yeah.
medicinally, it works amazingly. I mean, it's nice to be able to walk into a dispensary and buy like a chocolate of mushrooms, but I think for a lot of people, like they're using it to like really help them get by in life and kind of like expand their mind a little bit better.
I feel like I've never considered what you were just talking about, where like maybe a therapy session where you're where you're taking mushrooms or whatever, and having someone that's there, they're completely fucking normal at that point, just there to have a conversation. Like, you think of like past traumas that maybe you've blocked off or whatever, just any kind of life stresses like that. The way you could sit there, you get there and you start pondering life as you do when you're under hallucinogens and stuff like that. But you got your therapist or whatever there that knows the questions to ask to guide you and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that could be both extremely terrifying and therapeutic at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think both of those would probably both end up happening, and you probably would actually come out a lot better for it.
It would be a terrifying,
nice to have like a guide to guide you along. Yeah,
you think of all those I saw God moments you may have had where the mushrooms turn on you and all of a sudden you're getting kind of freaked out and stuff like that. We talk about like trip sitters and stuff like that.
Well, what environment are you in when you start freaking out? What have you just seen, or what kind of music are you listening to, or what vibration is around you at the time? So like if you're in a comfortable setting and mentally you're not having like too terrible of issues that you can't take like a lighter microdose, they'll start you off obviously on a lighter microdose. But I have heard that like about these sessions where they'll do that, and the best ones that I liked is where they have two counselors, a male and a female, which is very interesting because when you're like on mushrooms, a lot of times you're just more expansive than just you as a human person, and with like a power couple in a way to help talk to you and guide you and give you both of their thoughts and opinions and questions and conversations. It's like it's a big deep dive for somebody to be able to open up and then see. It's almost like in a way this like a child that didn't maybe get like all the nurturing that they should have had from both mother and father, and here you are like in this very relaxed environment. They're in a bed, like the lights are down low, you've got like an eye thing like covering your eyes, so you're just lying there comfortable with your thoughts and your counselors, and like you get to feel almost as if you're having this mommy daddy moment. So it might be easier for you to open up about things that you typically wouldn't with your eyes open looking at two strangers.
I would love to be able to have something like that here in Illinois, you know, where, you know, we might even
Oh, for
have
sure.
something like that, that somebody's doing a little on the sly. And if they were, I tell you what, I would love to supply those people with their, you know, because that, you know, in the end all, I'd love to provide that medicine for people, you know, for them to be able to do that. And you know, something like that. If I knew there was something like that around here, oh man, I would be all about those people. I would help those people out in any fucking way
Nice.
I could.
Yeah.
But because that sounds like exactly what I think, and a lot of people definitely need. Like, you know, I have a lot of people, you know, that I know in my life with a lot of fucking demons that could
Yeah.
definitely, you know, they could benefit through shit like that. You know, I myself am one of them. Like, I've always told my wife, like, you know, like I probably need to be take one of those, you know, like 5 gram fucking, we're about to get in some shit moments, but I don't want to subject anybody to what the hell's going to happen when this all melts down.
Yeah.
Like your old lady's already looking on Google for one of these places. Like, where in America do they have something like that?
There's a company.
Oh, no, we're going to Chile. We're going to Chile. They got one there.
That's a good one too if you want to do that. There's a company that does it out here, and they'll allow a certain set of drugs, and they mainly are doing it for PTSD. Like that's their biggest thing right now is helping people with PTSD. And they're basically saying, well, you can partake in the drug of your choice that you bring, but we want you to do it right here in front of us. We want to know what it is. We want to be checking up on you. There's like, you know, a bit of a health screening to get in. And obviously, insurance doesn't pay for it. But as long as your state has legal use of medicinal drugs such as mushrooms or ketamine, then this company is trying to expand, and it would allow them to come in and set up shop somewhere in your state and say, look, we could help out these patients. And the purpose is that you're only going there for like a handful of sessions, depending on how many sessions it's going to take for you to like overcome this. But the object at the end of the day is, as you're on this medication, you're opening up and you're explaining, and people are able to kind of talk to you and counsel you and guide you, that eventually you kind of become one with understanding. Things just kind of happen, and it's just like we just have to deal with it. Unfortunately, it never happens the way that we wanted it to or that we wish that it could, but look at how it made us who we are today. Now, what could we do with this energy that we have? Can we help out somebody else who's just starting to walk the same path that I walked, and I want to make sure they don't get into all the dangers that I got into? Can I be there for that person?
Yeah, and that's
Or anything else, you know what I mean? It's supposed to help you kind of get over this mountain without completely letting it go, but just thinking about the whole situation differently.
you know, do some of the work that they've been seeing, at least some of the at least some of the papers and some of the articles and stuff that
Yeah.
that I've read, you know, they're seeing like you said, like 3 treatment maximums. Like they're seeing most people getting out within the first to second treatment, like being like good. And you know, very minor therapy sessions after, obviously for the check-in to make sure, you know, the work with help. But you know, absolutely, you know, seeing just such quick work with the PTSD specifically, you know, with traumas. So, you know, to be able to just, you know, help in any which way form, that would just be amazing, you know? And so, yeah, those people, right. You know, they see the power of that to come in and be like, right, we're not going to fucking judge you. We're going to help you. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's nice to have that kind of environment, because like when you're with your friends, you might not want to explain so much. You know what I mean? Like I've got a few good friends who I know that like they don't care. They'll accept you for who you are and they'll never judge you. But then there's some friends that are like, I just kind of watch what I say.
Hey man, I've fucking taken, I've had a few bad trips and, you know, mushroom trips where, you know, when you realize what it was in your adult life, you're just like, oh, that's what the fuck that was. Oh, you know, like, oh, that shit all makes sense now. But you know, like, I had friends who wouldn't fucking kick me out of the fucking party or anything. You know, they'd sit there and be like, yeah, he's fucking, that's my friend, he's losing it, he'll be back in a little bit, you know. But right, they weren't there to be like down to like help you work through your shit. They were like,
Nice.
Well, he's not dead. We're good.
Yeah,
He's
we're still alive.
fine.
That's because there's no thoughts to the medicinal values of it at that point in time, right? We're
No.
just doing it to get high, get effed up. And it's like, because I feel like this, like it's, I feel like if you even, I've never been to a therapist. Maybe I could use one, maybe not. I don't know. But I feel like if I were to go to one, I would be guarded. And
Yeah,
you would be
a good
necessarily
one.
wanting to open up about everything. Whereas at fully, once you're in that, and going to one of these places would probably be about the most uncomfortable thing ever at first. You think about how you do hallucinogens. You want that comfort zone, right? Wherever you are, maybe in your bedroom, your living room, whatever, certain places you just don't want to go there. So I think at first it might kind of have that anxiety. Oh my God, this is awfully sterile looking, probably, right? Very clinical, kind of eek. But then but these people know what they're doing, and they're expecting you to be elevated anxiety potentially when you get there. So that's their job, to calm you down and then break it open. I think that once you do start breaking open, you're going to lose that guard a bit. You're going to start letting down, and because they'll know what questions to ask, whether it was childhood trauma or something else, right? And like kind of get to the root of these problems. I can't believe I'd never even pondered something like that, or even crossed my mind until you mentioned it earlier. And then all of a sudden it's like, yes, that makes so much sense. And I honestly, I think I am all for microdosing and taking mushrooms and stuff like that, especially if you can be responsible for it. But I think that would be a lot more beneficial as having a bunch of these clinics set up than you would to the people just dosing on themselves, because yeah, you'll be able to repair things and feel better and stuff like that. But if you're actually in need of therapy for PTSD or for whatever your purposes are, it just
that would really help out a lot. And you're welcome to like take whichever you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable with mushrooms, you could take ketamine. If you don't feel comfortable with that, they'll even let you take cannabis. For some people, if they're super sober, all it takes is a little bit of cannabis for them to kind of like have this open experience.
I remember when I first started smoking weed again after about a 14-year break. It was like mushroom high.
Really? I wish.
It was like
I was high school high. I haven't been this high since high school.
No, it was insane and it was fun. But then you get into daily smoking and stuff like that. But I made massive cutbacks in the amount I smoke over the last year, but really in the last probably 3 to 4 months. And I find where when I get on, like, say, a Saturday, where if I'm not doing nothing that day, I'm going to smoke weed that day. But it's when you start smoking like 2, 3, 4 joints back to back because you're getting into something fun. Holy fuck, did they hit you a lot harder than they did when you got 8 joints back before lunchtime, sort of thing.
Especially when you're growing your own, it's like you could keep up with that cycle and figure out how much you're going to need for you and your friends. And then it's like, okay, well, I could, as long as I keep up with this certain cycle every time, then I will always have a stash. But I ran out of my stash because when I do outdoors, like I kind of shut off the indoors.
Yep.
I just now started up the indoors again, but like I ran out. So it's like I have maybe a couple bowls left. And once I'm done, then it's like maybe I should like take a break for a while until those ones are ready. So they're autos. They should be ready in a few weeks. But I haven't like really taken a long break except for when I was pregnant. Like that's the only time I've quit smoking weed since I started it in the first place years ago in high school.
See, a ball is talking about he just did dab for the first time in a few years there just last weekend. He got high school. That's the thing I've noticed too. I don't dab regularly anymore. I turn that into more of like a weekend thing, or every few weekends is even better. And
I barely do that. Yeah.
When you do, it just it's
Definitely
nice to have that extra head kick. It's like
high.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the time, right, and we're looks like we're just about wrapped up. You got anything else you'd like to touch on, and before we start getting out of here?
No, I think we talked about everything. That was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys for tonight, talking all sorts of poop stuff.
It's always so much fun.
Oh,
I love it. How about
enjoy it.
let everybody know where they can find you if they want to give you follows on IG and all that good stuff.
My website for the CBD is livingeuphoric.com. My Instagram for the CBD stuff is living_euphoric. My personal Instagram is Greens Goddess with a Z. And you could email me if you're interested in any of like past harvest products or like the oils. Like I have made some CBD, CBG tinctures with a tiny amount of THC. My email address is livingeuphorichemp@gmail.com.
Awesome. How about you, Fluff? You got anything else you want to?
And I just want to say thank you for everybody who's hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I love talking with you. I dig everything you do. So
thank you.
You, as far as I'm concerned, you're welcome back as much as you want.
Thank you.
And then to everybody out in chat, man, thank you guys for showing up, hanging out. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up on your way out for us. Man, you know, I love the fact that, you know, there's still 30 people here right now hanging out,
Yeah.
waiting, still hanging on to the bullshit. So much love, much thanks to all of you guys. And fucking to all the boofers. I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah. Boof. Have a merry boof weekend.
Merry Boof Fest.
All right, everyone. Have a great week. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah, I like the sounds of later.
Take me down to the graveyard. Show me a resting place. Take this worry away from me. My final bed to lay. I need asylum. Imprisoned. Forgotten and buried. Forgotten and buried. Well, I get so nervous thinking about the future. 'Cause I've been wrong before. Yeah. Heaven never warned you of the joys of hell. The world can get so manic, silence sits so well. I need asylum, imprisoned, forgotten and married, forgotten and married. I get so nervous thinking about the future, 'cause I've been wrong before. Coffin and I dug myself a hole. The pain I had buried me. The youth that want me turned me cold. I need asylum, imprisoned, forgotten and buried, forgotten and buried. Well, I get so nervous thinking about the future, 'cause I've been wrong before. Well, I get so
Dude, I was able to water all my plants in the time that the song was playing. I'm very proud of myself. And then get here back here just as like the Baduntons were starting. I was like, that was like damn near professionally timed out.
That's pretty freaking impressive.
Well, I'm very proud of myself right now. It was a big rush before we started because I had to go get the water done and the nutrients mixed and all that. And I had it in a jug sitting right at my foot because I knew I would forget if I didn't fucking have that shit ready to go before the show. And I didn't have enough time to water before the show because I'm an idiot and I can't spell living euphoric correct twice in a row. But third time was lucky for the email.
It happens. If we were professional, people would quit watching us.
Julie's awesome. I have a great time every time she's on.